Okay, here's some of the stuff, the rest. So I already sent you that first video. That's what you would have you been here. That's what you would have done on Wednesday. And I would have had you do these together on Thursday. Okay, so this would be how to catch up on that. Okay, a student can read 7 pages of a book in 10 minutes. How many pages of a book can a student read in 30 minutes? Up here I have a table, minutes and pages. By the way, this is X, this is Y. Remember, X is a time unit if you have it, and pages is that. So those are 2 units. Now I do have a question for you. First off, place these in 7 and don't put them right at the top. That's for you're going to give yourself some space. Okay. So 7 pages and 10 minutes. Remember to put the labels where they belong. 10 minutes, 7 pages, and we have 30 minutes, but I don't know how many pages, so I'm going to put P. Okay, P pages. Now, I do have a question, but I guess, never mind. Sorry, I can't make up my mind. I'm a moron here. Don't worry about the X and the Y. If you read for 0 minutes, how many pages would you read? Now, 0. So that is why on this problem, making a line is not going to make a lot of sense. Okay, don't write this down. I'm just going to show you why you wouldn't do it the same way. So X should be minutes, Y would be pages, and it'd be pages per minute. Now, I don't know the pages per minute, but I can easily figure it out if I simply take the pages, which is 7, divided by 10. Okay, 7 divided by 10 is going to be 0.7. Okay, X. But here's a problem. I don't have a beginning amount. Okay, so it's kind of, no offense, but it's kind of stupid to be setting that up with the zeros when I know that there can't be a beginning amount of pages. Okay, so the line does me no good. It just wouldn't make sense. So you're going to set up a proportion. Okay, it's very easy to set up. All you do is put, by the way, you want to put your time on the bottom. Put the minutes on the bottom. You always got to remember that. In the labels you're going to want to put. So 10 minutes, 7 pages. Remember to put 10 in the minutes and 7 in the pages because that's a ratio. Okay. Then we look at the other one, 30 minutes, and then just put P pages right there. Okay. Now you can cross multiply, find your diagonals. Okay. So 7 times 30 is going to be 210. You can put that on either side. I usually put it here. Then 10 times P we write as 10P. And then we just divide, okay, by the number with the P. You won't have to add or subtract. 210 divided by 10 is 21. So you go ahead and put 21 down here. And that means 30 minutes you could read 21 pages. Sounds about right. Okay, next one. In the first 4 games of the season, a soccer team scores 10 goals. If this trend continues, how many goals will the team score in 18 games? Get that X, Y out of there. That's dumb to even put. Okay. Okay, 4 games, 10 goals. Okay, so I know I can play 4 games. And by the way, give yourself some room, even though I didn't. 4 and 10. 4 is with 10. Okay, I got 18 games. Okay. And the goals. Well, I don't know how many goals I'm going to score, so I'm going to put G. Okay. Now, if I play 0 games, I wouldn't be able to score any goals. So again, that line is completely useless. Okay. So I'm going to go make proportions out of it. That's what the equal ratios. It's where I can just set the ratios equal to each other. Now, this time there is no time unit, so it really doesn't matter what you put on top and bottom. I'll put 4 games over 10 goals. Then just keep the units in the same order, though. games, goals, games, goals. So we have 18 games, but I don't know how many goals, so I'll put a G. You can also put an X if you like X better than G. That's fine. Okay, so I know these numbers. 10 times 18 is 180. Remember, you're timesing. And then you don't know G, so 4 times G is 4G. Okay, and 4, divide that by 4. Geez, 180 divided by 4 is going to be 45. 45 goals. That's pretty much all you're doing on this. Okay. A printer can print 12 pages in 3 minutes. How many pages can the printer print in 9 minutes? Okay. Forget about X and Y. Okay, just forget it. So 12 pages, 3 minutes. Okay. And we have 9 minutes, but I don't have any pages to go with those. I don't know that, so I'm going to put P. But if the copier ran for 0 minutes, I wouldn't be able to print any pages. So this, having these zeros up here tells me, okay, I'm not going to make the line. Remember to put the minute, if you have a time unit, it's got to be on the bottom. That the next packet brings that to light. Okay, so 12 pages, 3 minutes. And 9 minutes, but I don't know how many pages, so I put P. Okay. Cross multiply. Multiply your diagonals. 12 times 9 is 108, and then 3 times P is 3P. And then we can divide both of them by 3. Okay, 108 divided by 3 is 36, so you can do 36 pages within 9 minutes. Okay, it took me 7.2 minutes to upload 8 photos from a computer. At this rate, how long will it take to upload 20 photos? So I know I have 7.2 minutes, but that belongs with 8 photos. They're in the same sentence. 20 photos. Don't know how many minutes, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Okay, if the copier ran for 0 minutes, it wouldn't be able to run any photos, so those zeros tells me the line's useless, so I go to my proportions. So match up your time unit. Put your time on the bottom, if there is a time. If there's not a time, it doesn't matter what you put on top and bottom. Okay. So you put photos and photos. Okay, 7.2 minutes, that's 8 photos, and then M minutes, 20 photos. Okay, cross multiply and divide. So 7.2 times 20. 144. 8 times M is 8M. Okay, and then again, M is just being multiplied, so you're just going to divide by 8. So I divide 144 by 8, and I get 18. So it would take 18 minutes. Okay. 20 photos. Okay, a recipe that makes 12 biscuits calls for 2 cups of flour. How many cups of flour is needed to make 30 biscuits? Okay. So you got 30 biscuits, and you got 2 cups. Oops, I screwed that up. Okay, just put cups and biscuits. Okay, cups, biscuits. So 12 biscuits, 2 cups, and we have 30 biscuits. Not sure how many cups, we'll put C. But if I have 0 cups, I can't make any biscuits. So having those zeros there tells me don't make the line or make those boxes. These are different types that you'd have to use a different method. Now, you don't have a time unit, so it doesn't really matter, okay? So you can put biscuits on top or cups on top. If there's no time unit, it really doesn't matter. Okay, 2 cups is for 12 biscuits, 30 biscuits, C cups. You can also put X if you like that better. 2 times 30 is 60, and 12 times c is 12c. Okay, 60 divided by 12 is 5. The next page, we're not, cross out that next problem because I miswrote it. Okay, I screwed it up. That was just another example anyway. Okay. All right, now you can get decimals here too. Okay, so just write them. Okay, that's done. And then I would, after I get done with the packet, pause it and then do the problems before you go on the next one. Because otherwise, if I do it all, if you watch it all at the same time, it's going to get really overwhelming. Okay, here's the next one. You will need a decent calculator, at least something where you can add fractions. Okay, here's what I mean by that. If I got 3/4 plus 1/2, okay. Now if you remember the old days, you have to get common denominators and all that crap. But if you have these calculators, you can add them and it gives you the answer. So here's how you do it on these calculators. You go 3/4, so 3. And on this calculator, the fraction button is ABC. It's right here where my thumb's at. That now gives you a fraction, that little thing there. And then put 4. And then you want to add a half, so plus 1. Okay, 1 1/4. And that's what we got. Okay. Now, one thing you're going to want to do, though, if you ever get a whole number in a fraction, that's called a mixed number, by the way. Okay, you probably knew that. If you get a whole number of fraction, you're going to have to write it as an actual ratio. Okay, 1 1/4 is not a ratio, so here's what I do. Okay, you make a fraction line, you put 4. Okay, because that's what's underlined. Now you take the whole number times the bottom and add the top. So I know 1 times 4 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So this is actually 5/4. Okay, so we're going to need it to look like that when we're doing this. Okay, now why do we have to know that? Well, here's why. It takes you 8 minutes to wash one car. It takes a friend 6 minutes to wash one car. How long does it take the two of you to wash 7 cars if you work together? Okay. Now you have 2 tables here, and the reason you do is because there's 2 people that are working together. So here's how we're formatting the tables. This is me, okay? Give yourself some room. 8 minutes, 1 car. Remember to put the right numbers where they go. Now right here, this is for my friends, so I move on to another table. 6 minutes, 1 car. How long does it take him to wash 7 cars? Put 7 cars, okay, and then question mark, minutes. Okay, that's going to be how to set that up. Now, what should I set up? Well, if I don't work for any time, I'm not going to get any cars, and neither is he. Okay, so I'm going to set up proportions, but you're going to need to add another ratio on this side of the proportion because there's 2 tables, and it's adding, okay? Because you're teaming up. You're adding the work that you can do together. A lot of people put that as a times. No, that's wrong, okay? Now these ones, you're pretty much screwed if you don't put your time on the bottom, minutes. All the way across here, you need to put minutes. Then cars on top. Cars in minutes, so he has 1 car, 8 minutes. Remember to put 1 car, 8 minutes. This guy here, 1 car, 6 minutes. So basically he can wash 1/8 of a car per minute, 1/8 of the car per minute. The other guy can wash 1/6 of the car per minute. Now together, this over here is together on the other side of the equation. They have 7 cars, and I don't know how many minutes it's going to take to do that. You can put M, you can put X, I don't care, okay? It doesn't matter the letter you use. Now, you have to simplify this, okay? Keep your 7 over m, just drop that down. Cars, minutes. But over here, we're going to add fractions, 1/8 plus 1/6, okay? 1 ABC 8 plus 1 ABC 6. That's 7 over 24. Now, here's what that represents, okay? That means together, the simplest ratio I can come up with whole numbers is 7 cars in 24 minutes. So I cross multiply and divide, okay? 24 times 7, 168. And then 7 times m is 7m. And then you just divide by 7. And 168 divided by 7 is 24. Okay. That one's kind of a duh moment because 7, 7, 24, 24. It doesn't always happen that way. Just dumb luck on that one. Okay, next one. I misstapled this. Charles is making pottery for a craft fair. It takes him, not me, I'm not in this problem, him. It takes him 50 minutes to construct one piece of pottery. It takes his wife 35 minutes to construct one piece of pottery. How long will it take them to construct 35 pieces of pottery if they work together? Okay, so again, these are for your units, but I'm making tables so to help you out, kind of. Okay, this is Charles, 50 minutes to paint one piece. But now I move to the other table because this is a different person, okay? 35 minutes, one piece. The 35 pieces is when they're working together, so I put 35 pieces, and I got to figure out how many minutes, okay? Question mark minutes. That's my job, to figure out how many minutes that's going to take as best I can. Again, if you work for 0 minutes, you don't get any work done. Same with the other person. So that tells me don't make the 2 lines, make proportions instead. You will just add a second ratio there. Remember, you got to put the time, line the time up on the bottom. Okay. And then pieces on top. And you can abbreviate however you want. Okay. Okay, so you got one piece, 50 minutes. One piece, 35 minutes. Together we got 35 pieces, and I don't know the minutes. You can put X, you can put M, it doesn't really matter. So we have to simplify this side, okay? We know we have 35. When they work together, they have 35 pieces, and we don't know how many minutes, M minutes. But over here, we need to add these so I get a ratio of what they can do together. That's spelled wrong. Okay, whatever. So I add those. So 1/50th plus 1/35th. That would be like pure, then not fun to get a common denominator. Okay. So it's 17 over 350. And basically what that does is tells you that together they could do 17 pieces in 350 minutes. Okay. So now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. 350 times 35 is going to be a pretty high answer. 12,250. And over here, 17 times m, we write as 17m. Okay. Then we're going to divide by 17. A lot of these problems, you get decimals. Don't write the full decimal. Just put a whole number. Okay, seriously. I mean, if you just go one place after the decimal, 720.5 is good enough. Okay. I'm not a stickler on rounding. That's how many minutes. If a teacher said how many hours, you just divide by 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour, so it'd be about 12 hours. Okay, this one you have to do on your assignment, okay? I'm gonna do the next one though, because I misstapled it. It should be number 1, number 2, and this one should have been an example because it's not numbered. You can type 7 pages in 2 hours. Your classmate can type 8 pages in 3 hours. If you have 2 computers and can work at the same time, how long will it take the 2 of you to type 37 pages? Same deal. Okay, so 7 pages in 2 hours. Now I go to the other table because we have a different person. Okay, 8 pages, 3 hours. Okay, now, together, that 37 pages and question mark hours. Okay, well, the first thing, 0 hours would result in 0 pages. Again, you're wondering, what's the point of putting those zeros? Well, that tells me don't make the boxes in the line. That tells me, okay, that's worthless, so make this proportions. Okay, remember to put, and you got to add, since there's 2 different tables, you're going to have to add one, because this is person me, this is you, sorry. This is your classmate, and this is when you're together. Okay, so put the hours on the bottom, and put the pages on the top. Okay, so 2 hours, 7 pages. 3 hours, 8 pages. 37 pages. You can put H for hours, it doesn't matter, okay? Or X, it doesn't really, again, if you like X, go with it. So over here, you keep that, this side of the equals, you keep that as 37 over H, okay? It's still pages and hours. I'm just going to simplify this so there's only one ratio. So pages and hours. Okay, we're going to add these two right now. I'm going to take 7 over 2 plus 8 over 3. Six and 1/6 is what that says. That is not going to work. What you need to do is put that 6 that's on the bottom, whatever that is, that's going to be how many hours we have. That still goes on bottom. To find how many pages, you are going to, again, take the whole number times the bottom and then add the 1. So 6 times 6 is 36, and if I add 1 to 36, it's 37. Okay, and this one's kind of a no-brainer. It's 37, 37. It's going to be 6 and 6, but again, so 6 times 37, I'll go through, even though it's kind of obvious, 222. Over here, 37 times H is 37H. That's 6, just like I predicted. Okay. By the way, that shouldn't say minutes, that should say hours. I messed that up. Okay, 6 hours. Hopefully I labeled the other ones right. That says hours in the bottom. Makes sense. And that says, I put hours on the bottom right there. Okay. Okay, and that's what you would have done Thursday. Okay, and now we'll pause the video, do those couple problems, and now we're moving on to Friday. Okay, Friday would have been 2 packets. Okay, there's a third one. The one that says the one with the stray cats or 500 stray cats, you can get rid of that one. I don't need that. Okay. Okay, this one here is pretty easy. It's not very hard. Okay. You got to write kind of small though. It says, what percent of 42 is 28? Well, you can use a proportion to set that up, but you set it up the same way every time. You put 100% on the bottom, and you put a percent on top. You don't know what percent yet. And then up here, put is over of. Okay. Now, do either one of those numbers have a percent sign? No, because it says what percent. So I don't have my percent. That's X. Now, after the percent has been filled out, look at of. After of, you see 42. Okay? So 42 goes here. And then is would be 28. Okay? And then all you do is do your thing. Okay? So 100 times 28 is 2,800. And over here you got 42. X, I didn't give you a lot of workspace here. Then you just divide by 42. So 2,800 divided by 42 is, now just put 66, you do get a lot of goofy decimals here, 66.6 repeating. Now look at where your X was at. If it has the percent sign after it, label your answer percent. That's what percent. If you got 28 out of 40 on a 42 on a test, that's would be your percent. Not great, not flunking though. What is 75% of 180? And then it's going to be set up like this every time when I'm looking at this. Okay, percent. I have the percent. I have 75%. Okay, so I don't put X here. Now after of, look after the word of, it says 180. The of is like your total. Okay, that's also known as the base. Okay, and the top is known as your part. Okay, so you basically don't have the is. Okay, because you already put these in places. You go here, here, then here. So X. Then I do my thing. 75 would be multiplied times 180. 13,500. 100 times X is 100X. Then divide by 100. 13,500 divided by 100 is 135. Okay. Now this time X is not the percent, it's just a number. Okay. 35. 60% of what number? 75. Okay, so you got 60%, so 60 is my percent. Got that. Now go to of. After of, it says the word what, so that means X is my of. I don't know my total. I know the part of the total is 75. Okay, that's what a percent is. It's part of something over total. So 100 times 75 is 7,500. Use your calculator. I'm just doing it in my head to speed it up a little bit. 60 times X is 60X. Then I divide by 60. $125. Then again, X, if X is on this ratio, don't put a percent sign, only if it's here. What percent of 15 is 21? This one's a little bit weird. What a lot of people do is they always put the smaller number over the bigger number. Not always. You got to read it. Okay. Percent, don't have it. That is not a percent. That is not a percent. X then is a percent. Then after of, you got 15, then 21. So this time, because of 15, it's possible for the total to be smaller than a part. It's like taking a test and getting extra credit, okay? So 21 times 100 is 2,100, and then that's going to be written as 15x. Now the beauty of this is I don't have to worry about like moving the decimal or any of that garbage, okay? You know how like your teachers, oh, you got to make the percent a decimal. Well, actually, no, you don't. Okay, so 140 is my percent. Okay, so can you have a percent over 100? Yeah, if you get 21 out of 15 on a test, you get extra credit. That's over 100%. 68% of what number is 64.6? Percent, you got 68. After of, I see the word what, so X is what, that's where my X is at, and then I have 64.6. So I take 100 times 64.6. 6,460. And that times that, 68x. So 6460 divided by 68, 95. What is 125% of 62? Percents there, it's 125. Okay, after of it says 62, then x. This is going to be higher than 62 because the percent's over 100. Really, this is pretty simple if you know how to play. The next one's a little bit tougher. You got to think a little bit more. 7,750, and that's going to be 100x. Okay, so 7750 divided by 100, 77.5. 65% of what number is 577.2? Percent, and then is, and of. Percent, 65. Okay, after the word of, it says what, so x, and then 577.2. So 577.2 times 100 is 57,720. Don't have to put the comma if you don't want to. 65 times x is 65x. Then we'll be dividing by 65. 888. So x equals 888. No percent sign when it comes from over here, only there. You've just found the total. What percent of 120 is 200? Okay, that doesn't have a percent, neither does that, because it says what percent means I don't know. Okay. You can use any variable. X or P is probably the best. Okay, after of it says 120 and then 200. So 20,000. Okay, 120x. So 20,000 divided by 120. 166.6 repeating. Okay, and then put a percent sign on that because the X percent. Okay, to save time in this video, I'm going to get rid of these. I got way too many of these examples. Okay, that's that. Work on those 1 through 8. Okay, and the last thing. Okay, now you're going to be solving some actual real world percent problems. Okay, don't get freaked out by it. You're going to set up your ratios, but you can't rely on the is of. That's not going to work. It says 10% of my paycheck is spent on groceries. If I spend $300 of my paycheck on groceries, how much money is in my paycheck? You're going to put your 100%, and the percent you have in the problem is 10, but the is of is not going to work because you'll never figure out where to, you'll just end up guessing where to put that $300, and that's not what we want. What you put here is you put part total, always. Now you need to put after your part equals what I've circled. The part is what was spent on groceries. Now, if you know how much money you spent on groceries, like how much money, actual money, not percent, how much actual money, you put it here. If you don't know, you put X here. So how much money I spend on groceries? $300, so I can put 300 there. And the variable goes here, so I'm figuring out how much total money I'm making, okay? And then it's just pretty academic from there. So I take 100 times 300. 30,000. And then 10x. Then you just divide by 10. Remember, always divide by the number with the x. 30,000 divided by 10 is going to be 3,000. Now for the label, it's always the same label as what's here. If that's money, then this is going to be money, because this is just part of the total. Okay, 20% of the land in the United States is covered by mountains. If there are 200,000 square miles in the United States, how much is covered by mountains? 100%. Put your 20% here. Okay. Now, we can't think of is and of. We think part over total. Label the part, put part up there equals covered by mountains. It's whatever I've circled. It's called the trait of the percent, but just think of it part total. How much was covered by mountains? We see 200,000, but it doesn't say those are covered by mountains. So basically, I don't know what was covered by mountains, so I would place an X here. Instead, I'm going to put the 200,000. That's my total. Okay. So I cross multiply. Have fun writing this out. So 20 times 200,000. That's 4 million. 4 and then 6 zeros. And then that's going to be 100x. And then divide by 100. And that is going to be 40,000 when you divide that. And that's square miles, so it'd be square miles. This is a dumb one. I'm not sure why I wrote a stupid problem like this. 45% of the trolls in the Magic Forest had happy faces. If 200 trolls had happy faces, how many trolls were there all together? Okay. So you have 45% to 100%. That forms a proportion with the actual amount. So you got part total. The part had happy faces. I know that seems really dumb to write, but I'm going to write it. So how many had happy faces? You know, so obviously it says 200 had happy faces, so I know that's 200. That is known. The total is not known. Okay, so I take 100 times 200, 20,000. Then 45 times x is 45x. $20,000 divided by 45. 444.4 repeating. Don't write decimals on this. Okay, just write 444. Happy faces. Okay. It's trolls. 440 total trolls total. 200 had happy faces. That is 45% of the trolls. Okay, I can bench press 200% of my body weight. If I can bench press 500 pounds, what is my body weight? Okay, now you are going to put 200 here. Okay, don't overthink it. And you are still going to think in terms of part over total. Now the part is defined by what we can bench press. How many pounds I can bench press. Well, how much can I bench press? Do they give it to me, or do we need to figure that out? No, they told me how much I can bench press, 500. I don't know the total. Cross multiply and divide, well, no. Okay, 100 times 500 is 50,000, and then 200x. $50,000 divided by 200, 250. And that's going to be pounds. Because the guy weighs 250 pounds, he can bench press 200%, so he can bench press more than what he weighs. Hits the weights. Okay, 40% of the students in school dressed up for Spirit Day. If 120 dressed up for Spirit Day, how many students are in school? I got to kind of go through these quick because I'm afraid my battery on my camera is going to die. 40 to 100. Once you put the 40, just ignore the 40, then you don't need that anymore. Then it's part over total, or part whole, I usually call it the total. Part is defined by dressed up for Spirit Day. How many dressed up for Spirit Day? I think I know how many dressed up for Spirit Day. It's 120. So I don't know the total. That's what they're asking me. Because it's hard to know what they're asking you a lot of times in these, because they don't say flat out what's the total. Okay. How many students are in school is the total. 100 times 120 is 12,000, and that's going to be 40x. Divide by 40. That is going to be 300. So 120, it says how many students, so it would be 300 students. So far I'm putting this up here. It doesn't go up here every time, as you're going to see by the next one. 60% of the roads need to be reconstructed. If there are 300 roads, how many need to be reconstructed? Okay. 60%. Then forget about the 60. Okay, part total. I have to really focus in on where to put that 300. So the part equals what needs to be reconstructed. So if you're able to tell me how many roads need to be reconstructed, you can put the number here. But if you can't, you better put X. It says there's 300 roads, but doesn't say they need to be reconstructed. Well, yeah, they're asking me how many need to be reconstructed, so I don't know how many need reconstructing. I do know that there's 300 total. 60 times 300 is 18,000, and that's going to be 100x. Okay, that's 180. 180 roads. Okay, that's it. Hope your trip goes well. Do the best you can to get those done.